So, let's solve this equation. This is quadratic. How do I know it's quadratic other than the fact that I wrote it?
It's got the x squared.
I've got x squared. Now, but the x squared is in a funky position, right?
Jizz.
So what do I need to do with that?
Change it around.
Move to the other side.
I don't want negative.
You know what? I like that. Because I know that I've said before, no matter what you do, you rewrite so that your lead coefficient is what?
Not negative.
Not negative, which means positive. So if I move this to the other side, I might as well move everything to the other side, right? So what do I get on the right side?
2x squared minus 3x plus 6.
Positive 2x squared minus 3x, and I already had a plus 6 over here. Do y'all agree?
Jizz.
That's good?
Yes.
So now this is set up so I can use the quadratic formula if I even need to. But really, the first thing I want to think about is this. Would that factor? Yes or no? You can try a little bit. You can play around with the numbers. If it's a trinomial, we expect it to go into 2 sets of parentheses. But no matter what you do for this guy, he's not going to factor. Sometimes it works out for you, sometimes it doesn't. But I don't want you to spend 5 minutes just trying to see if something factors. Your factoring skills should be advanced enough that you don't waste a lot of time with that. So that guy doesn't work. What about the square root property? Do I have x as just a square?
No.
No, because he's also right here, so that doesn't help me out. What about completing the square?
No.
One of the first things you'd have to do to complete the square,
Perfect.
and the constant doesn't really matter, it's this guy. I would have to first do what?
Factor.
Nope.
Divide by 2.
I'd have to divide everything by 2, which causes this guy to have a fraction, and then you have to divide by 2 and square it. So you don't have a fraction coefficient that you have to divide by 2 and square, which is just going to make your fraction situation worse, right?
Right.
You can complete the square, should you?
No.
No.
Because you don't want fractions. Right.
You don't want fractions. The quadratic formula may ultimately give you fractions, but you do not have to concern yourself with fractions throughout the whole problem. It's just at the very end in terms of simplifying.
Okay.
So, do we know the quadratic formula by now?
Yep.
Yes.
I know you want to sing it.
No, I really don't.
X equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So write the formula down every time you use it. Every time.
Wait,
And make sure that you are writing it down correctly. Yes?
You don't give us formula on the test, right?
I give you nothing on the test. You're supposed to bring in the knowledge that I've already given you.
What's so funny, Javier?
Don't get started. So now that I have this guy written as a quadratic equation, it equals 0, and my lead coefficient is positive, identify your A, B, and C before you start plugging into your formula. What's A?
2, positive 2.
What's B?
Negative 3.
Does that negative matter?
Yes.
Yes, and C is
Positive 6.
6. Plug into your formula. So x equals, what am I going to write for negative B?
Negative in the parentheses. Whoa, I'm sorry.
What? Just tell me what it is. What's negative?
3.
It's going to be positive 3, right?
Sorry.
So negative makes that positive. The square root, I got b squared. If b is negative 3, what's b squared? Positive or negative? It better be positive, right?
Jizz.
It shouldn't matter what you square. If it's a real number, you get a positive. Now this is what I want to do for the minus 4ac. Take it or leave it. Off on the side, I'm going to write out what that is. So minus 4ac is negative 4 times a, which is 2, times c, which is 6. I'm taking all of this guy right here, the minus 4ac. And what is negative 4 times 2 times 6?
Negative 48.
So that guy goes right here. Negative sign and all, so that's negative 48. Do y'all agree?
Yes.
And this is all over 2a. Well, my a is 2, so this is all over what?
4.
This is all over 4. Notice that everything is over 4. This fraction bar isn't just underneath the square root, but it's underneath that whole guy. Don't get lazy when you're drawing your fractions. You draw your symbols exactly the way they're supposed to be. Now let's simplify this. All I can do is work with the stuff inside the radical, so that's the square root of what? Negative 39, this is all over 4. Is there anything special I can do with 39?
You have to take the negative out and put I.
Right, in terms of its factors, it's just 3 times 13, so nothing special there. But I do have that negative. So when I finish this guy, I get that x equals 3, what? Plus or minus I
39 over 4.
square root of 39, this is all over 4. What do you guys think? But here's my question to you. Should I always use the quadratic formula? It's not always going to be easy to use the quadratic formula, nor will it always be the most efficient thing to do.